What's up, everybody? Sparrow with a Gun here from Sleepless Night Studios, and we are back on the Space Engineers Let's Build series, I'm gonna call this, because it's been supposed to be survival, but we haven't been on survival in a very long time. So I was in spectator mode here because this is the first up-close look I've got at the new suit since the updates, which is pretty cool. You can open the visor and all that stuff. Hi, how you doing? I will say it is a little buggier than I expected, but I've been forewarned about that in some of my other videos, and others had commented on that, it looks really good. The textures and stuff are much higher quality. Like, I like the textures and everything. It'll look a lot better when they're done with it. And the little visor animation thing is a lot cooler than having two separate models. That being said, there's a lot of animation bugs that need to be worked out, though. It's very jumpy, is what I'm going to call it, like that. Like, it just pops around a lot. So there's that. But overall, I'm happy with where they're going with it. It will be, I think it'll look a lot better when they actually get everything fully implemented. That, and the other thing, speaking of new textures and stuffs and whatnots, is the latest, most recent update of the game came with a teaser for a new pistol. Now, this is a little weird for me because I've actually had pistols in most of my games because there's mods for it and such. But having said that, I'm really excited for an actual like a legitimate pistol coming from the developers, because I hadn't actually realized they hadn't made one. All their guns were just the assault rifles. So that was kind of one of those, like, oh, they're updating the skin for the pistol, and then it was like, no, they're adding a pistol is what they're doing. So, but it looks awesome. I can't wait. I can't wait for that. That looks really cool. So, back to the matter at hand, which is the build that we're working on, as always, is the Corvette-type ship that is yet to be named. Now, I'll be honest, I've been out of practice for closing in on over a month now. So not only have I not really built much in Space Engineers in a while, there's been changes made, new mods maybe that I've missed, wouldn't doubt it. And also just I kind of forgot what I was doing. I forgot not so much where I was going or anything, like what I want the ship to look like, but just what I had said we were going to work on next and things I don't honestly really remember. I do know that we have the reactor room pretty much how I want it. It'll just be some tweaking, messing with the lighting and screens and what kind of screens to have up, and maybe floor decorations or stuff like that. But the reactor room is pretty much where it's gonna be. We also have these that I have yet to install on all the rooms, and I think we had said, other than detailing, this room was probably finished as well. We're just gonna have to go back through and add some detail work. I think the structure and everything of like where the blocks are and everything looks good. And I remember sealing this up as our access hatch to the reactor, but I didn't ever end up really doing anything with this, and we made this into our med bay and cryo chamber, I think was the last episode. I did get some feedback from this, and I'm not entirely in disagreement as far as I think this is functional and it could work, but it does have room for improvement, which I will probably revisit. I don't really want to do that in this episode just because we did that in the last episode, I think. The cryo chamber here doesn't seem too bad. I don't really mind where that is. I think it fits well in the wall. Doesn't look too crazy. The med bay, though, could use some work. I don't really know what I want to do with that, but I don't think I want to leave it as is. So yeah. And of course, like the detail work and screens and computers and all that crap. Now, one thing that we have yet really to decide is what these other rooms are for. We've talked about numerous different things, this being the CIC, like, computer room, this over here being some kind of extra cargo or weapons bay, and then having stuff up here for, ooh, this isn't open. Having stuff up here for the crew quarters. There's also been talk of making this up here the crew quarters, and so I haven't really ironed out what I want to do with that yet. Because here's my thought process. Whatever I put up here on the nose could more than likely be most easily destroyed, right? So I don't really want to put anything super vital, and so that makes me think that the more I think about it, it'll probably end up just being extra space, like storage or something like that, or I could make it the captain's cabin or whatever. Now, some of you might be going, why would you put the captain's cabin right in the nose when you just said it was expendable? Well, here's kind of my thought process, and I know it isn't perfect, because it's, well, not. But theoretically, in this game, I mean, role-playing aside of saying, oh, this is the captain's cabin, and you have to keep your captain safe and all that, role-playing aside, in terms of making a survival ship, because I do intend for this to be survival ready, it's just turned into, like, late game, mid to late game, instead of, like, a starter ship. But anyways, it does, I've always had the intent of it being survival ready at the end of the day. So, in survival, it's not quite like, I don't know. I'm trying to think of an example, but basically what I'm getting at is all of your stuff is going to be in your cargo hold, right? You're not going to have... It's like an example of Minecraft. You might keep your diamonds by your bed for it to be safe, because your bed's all the way down at the bottom of your base, and it would take animals or monsters and stuff forever to get there. Well, this isn't exactly even like that. You don't really just keep stuff in your captain's cabin. So most of the captain's cabin is going to be decorative. I mean, we don't have a sleeping mechanic yet. We don't have any reason to store items outside of our cargo hold. So it's going to be decorative items. It's going to be beds, nightstands, TVs, whatever. So in theory, in an actual survival game, if you were playing this on a survival setting where you had built it and you're trying to not die, or more importantly, not lose stuff, then you wouldn't really want your weapon systems, your script programming area that runs your ship, you see what I mean? So I am kind of starting to see the merit of making this the captain's cabin, which may in fact end up happening. I think I'm going to keep this as the... You know what? I'm going to keep this as like a CIC type deal, I think. Because it is more... I think it's more secure down here than it would be up at the bridge. I'm not sure. But what I mean by CIC is I'm not sure if I'll have a programming block to run the OS right from here, or if that block will actually be up under the bridge. I'm not sure. But I'm thinking of having this be like, I don't know, antennas or beacons or communications and scanner terminal, whatever. I don't know, something. Because we don't honestly have a whole lot of room in the bridge. The bridge is going to end up being decorative. And I don't mean that to say that that's not where you'll fly it, because it is. But, oh gosh, I don't remember how this mod works. Oh, T. There we go. Oh, and then you can jump off. Yeah, whew. Okay. Move backwards to climb down, sprint. How do I... Crouch or turn on jetpack to dismount. Oh, okay, that's new. They must have updated that. So, this is going to be kind of decorative except for this console, or whatever I end up using to pilot the ship. What happened here? Huh. Well, there's something you don't see every day. That was odd. Okay, anyways, moving on. So we might have a ton of consoles over here or whatever, but you're really pretty much in reality of the survival world just going to be flying here. That's what I was getting at with the CIC thing. So my thought process is basically that we can't really put a ton of stuff in the bridge that is useful. So I'm thinking this is going to be where all that goes. It'll be like that holographic projector table we talked about that'll show you like a diagram of the ship or something. Maybe put our antennas and our beacons. Have a couple programmable blocks maybe. You know, stuff like that. That's what I'm thinking. Now up in this middle section, there isn't a whole lot of room. Now some of you might be thinking this is actually a bigger area. You could have a better captain's cabin up here. And I don't dispute that, actually. The only part I dispute that is headroom, because it's pretty much like right here. You can see this area goes down one block from what this is, and you know, you can't go anywhere. So the problem here that I'm running into is I have to limit what needs to be in here because I have to have room to fill it in decoratively. What I mean is doing stuff like this. Come on, behave. You know, stuff like this, a row of angle blocks to kind of make it taper, and so it's not just a bunch of weird square blocks that look like you just dropped the ball. I won't have any room to add another block here to cover up the conveyors unless I did those armor panels. The armor panels might work to cover it up on the floor. So anyways, this would just be a harder room visually to work with. That's honestly one of the big reasons I'm thinking of not using it for anything super duper important, but having it as like backups. I'd like to have secondary shield generators in here. Maybe secondary oxygen generators over here. Something to where basically if the bottom of the ship or something gets pummeled, or you lose the front where all this stuff is, you have some kind of backup that's right next to the bridge. Maybe a small reactor or something to power it, I don't know. So yeah, I'm thinking this is going to be the backup area, is kind of what I'm thinking. The bridge is just going to be the bridge, and it'll be whatever we can fit in the bridge. I think this area is going to be leftover tech stuff. It's going to be any kind of computers, communications, programmable blocks, whatever we can't fit up in the bridge is going to go down here, and we'll make this our CIC, basically. And then I really do think I'm going to put the captain's cabin here, mainly, like I said before, just because I understand. Believe me, I do, because I'm totally a role player at heart. RPGs are like my favorite genre of game ever. And so I totally get the whole, that's not our ideal strategical position where you would want your captain's cabin. You would want it like back here in the deepest part of the hull where it's going to have the hardest time getting destroyed kind of thing. Well, I say that, but that may not entirely be true because like I said before, you're going to put stuff like your reactors and cargo, like stuff that is important to the whole ship. Not that the captain isn't important. So I think that's what we're going to operate on, that assumption from now on, though, is that we're going to do this as the captain's cabin. Now, the thing we have to work with... And actually, let me do something a little different here. Okay, now I should be able to find that light. It should be the last one, and let's crank up the intensity real quick because I kind of just want it better lit. I can't seem to brighten this ship up. It just will not do it. Oh, you know what? I should probably do some other stuff to it though, not just brightness or intensity. Let's do radius. Let's max out the radius. I don't remember exactly, but I think the higher fallout, the shorter it was. Let's do 4 blink controls. Fine. Let's see what that does. That's better, but I really can't light this ship up in the... I've never worked with lighting in DirectX 11, so this is all new. I know in DirectX 9, this area would be like super bright now. But I don't know. I don't know how that works, because it honestly doesn't even look that different to me. Let's crank that up, see if that helps. It does look brighter now, but it's still not enough for me to turn my headlamps off. Oh well, whatever. It's a little better. Alright, so let's figure out what we want to do. Now, we have a beam here, which... Let's see if it connects anywhere. Do I have to keep that? I don't technically have to keep that beam, I guess, but it is kind of a good waypoint for... The reason I'm... Oh, wait a minute. Wait. No, I don't have to keep that. Because that's the beam. This is another one. Ooh. Okay. Well, then let's get rid of that, actually. I know, I just messed with a light there and then took the light out. Oh well. Like I said, they weren't really doing a whole lot anyway. If you have switched from DirectX 11 to DirectX 9 and have had experience with correcting lighting issues and stuff, do let me know. Because I am curious as to how best to proceed with the lighting stuff. So what we're going to do... Actually, do I have this set? I do. Okay, so we're actually going to use mirror mode this time. Because it'll save me from having to constantly switch my orientation for the blocks. So, let's do something like this. I know I'm standing on the wrong side. All I'm seeing is red. Wow, that was bright. Still is. Not really sure how to do that. I might have to raise that door frame up just for symmetry. Come here. Okay. We'll do something like that. And now we'll spin this around. We can do like that. Okay, that's not bad. I could probably leave this door frame. Oh, there's a 2-block though. Ooh. Lucky me. Okay, so we could do like this even. Intriguing. And then will you work to go this way? You might. You just might. I have to change this up a little bit. Well, not really, I guess. I guess that was kind of always how it had to go. Okay. That's not too bad, actually. And then for now, we can just block this up. I don't know if they'll stay that way or if I'll change that, but yeah, that could work. I am gonna kind of break what I just said about the mirror mode for a minute because I want to experiment on one side here. To make sure that this will work how I want it to before I actually stay that way. This is really dark. Like, I don't know what it is about this. I mean, I know I just took the lights out. I get that. But it's still, like, I don't know, extra dark. Alright, what are these called? Corner light double. Let's just crank both of those up. Corner light double. I have 2 11s. That's interesting. Okay, well. Ooh, I know. Hold on a second. Okay, so there's some kind of lighting thing going on that I'm not privy to. See, like that? Everything goes really dark. And then certain points it goes light. If I look at the floor, it's really bright. And if I look up, it goes like pitch black. So it's got to be some kind of like lighting adjustment type thing. Like it's kind of how it works when you walk outside and your eyes adjust type of thing. But I don't think either because of the way this is or just that they haven't ironed it out yet. Something's not working probably the way it should. But I cranked up the lights on these though. I used my antenna over here to find them and make sure I was using the right ones. Okay, so what I'm thinking of doing here, since we already have since we already had a 2 wide doorway, I'm kind of gonna use it. Now, here's the tricky part. I have to merge or blend some of this stuff here with kind of the style that we have going on. So I need... Come on, let me through the door. So I need here to make a row of this angular stuffs. I think the further out I go with this, the more wall space I'll have, but actually, before we get into that, I need to finish this over here. And I know I haven't turned mirror mode back on. I just want to make sure this works, at least on one side. It was working before. I just want to make sure that it stays that way. Oh, no. Don't do that. Okay. So, from here... I think that's as low as I want the wall to go. Because past that point I probably can't do much with it anyway. Well, I suppose I could take it all the way back here. Well, no, I can't because I'm going to have blocks on both sides here. Let's test this theory. Oh, I guess you can. So we can walk back here. I just don't really know that there's that much of a point. There's not a whole lot you can fit back at that far of an edge. So I don't really know that that would do anything. So we'll probably just leave the wall ending right there. So let's switch this over. I apologize for why it's so hard to see anything. But I cannot get the lighting in here to work with me. It just doesn't want to do it. Okay, so I'm basically just going to do the same thing that we did kind of in the medical bay, I think. It's the room we did this in. Where we kind of set our shape by the wall. Okay, so that works pretty good, I think. Now, granted, we're not doing anything involved with furniture and stuff yet, so I have no idea how that's going to work once we actually start trying to kind of make a room out of this, per se. And I might be able to fit something back in here, so I'm going to leave this open for a minute, but I don't really think I'm going to, just because, again, you're right at the nose of the ship, so whatever you put back there is expendable. Now, what we need to do is flip this stuff and make sure that all of this works the way that we want it to. Like so. It's working so far. Wait a minute, did I do that right? Yeah, the inverted corners go under the slope, that's right. Now, this does cut into our floor space, but here's the thing. Whether we end up changing our mind because of this floor space or not, essentially this is pretty much what the room would look like anyway, following our structure, the way that we've been building our rooms and our walls and stuff. This is probably how it's going to look anyway. So if this doesn't work as a captain's cabin type thing, then, well, we know it won't work. But we'll have the wall where it needs to be. So because of that, this kind of ends up being... I don't know, it kind of ends up being what it is. Like, whatever we put in here is irrelevant. It's going to end up looking this way because this is just kind of the building style that we've established for the interior. Now, let's see. This one is a little different, though. We've got a bit more of an open space. So we'll probably have to do something along the lines like this. I'm thinking. Kind of thing. Oh, or I see it now. I didn't see it before. Follow the floor line here and then build the wall up so we have a little more headroom from there. I think that's how we're going to have to spin this one in order for this floor distance pattern here to work. Without that, we would have to change the flooring around a little bit, so I don't know how I want to do that. I mean, technically speaking, we could actually get more floor space out of this by mapping it to the lower wall again. It would bring you one block further out, but again, when you can't actually fit your character any further over, I don't really think that does any good. It doesn't really do anything. Now this over here, at least, we needed as much room as we can get. This one, expanding it out one block when this wall over here is already this low, I don't really think it's going to do anything. Could be wrong, but I don't know. Actually, this could be a problem. Mainly because I don't know how we would have to do that. Wait, the blocks were always in the corners. And then it went up from there. So we would have a block here, right? But then I guess you would need one here. Okay, but then that's going to screw this up entirely. So we may not have a choice. Let's get rid of this. And tell you what. Actually, this would be perfect. Right there. Ooh, I like that. Okay. Okay. I know I didn't really finish this or anything, but I'm not really sure that... Wow, I didn't notice this before. What is going on with my cube up in the corner? That thing is like... It's like a rectangle now and gigantic. I did not notice that before. Anyways. Alright. Okay, so that could be a problem, though. The problem I'm having here is when you follow the wall, it's not really that hard. But when you start doing like this, where because of where the door frame is, I brought it out, that shouldn't affect it, though. Because I did it the same way we would anyway. It just happened to work out that way. Right? I mean, we always put a inverted corner in there. So, what is the issue that I'm having here? It's like this. We could do this. Actually, that works really well. Okay. Oh. Oh. That works, I think. That could work. And we could just basically fill this wall in. That's not a bad idea. I don't think. Okay, I see the problem here. Normally I would want to do this, or something to that effect, or like this, cascade it back further. Oh, okay, that's, I think, the issue I'm having. I think. Bring this around. Oh, wait a minute. Wait. Okay, yeah, that's the problem. It's that this is a flat wall. Normally when I get to the end over here, we did a rounded edge like this, but we've never had, excuse me, we've never had one line up like that. The ones below it always keep going further back. Okay, I think that's the issue. Now we could... Nope, I take that back. I don't think we can there. Not if we want any further lines. What I was thinking of is we could do like this, which we can do. Get rid of that. We do something like this. Oops. Oops. And then we can just do something like that. That could work. Yeah, that'll work. Now, for here... we'd have to do something to this effect. We'll get rid of all this. Something like that. How did I end up with less wall space? Hold on. Let's take this down one more, I think, before we do this. And that way we'll essentially have the same wall size that we had before. I can't get this to go any further down. Yeah, let's do this once more here. Okay. Now, we'll flip this. There we go. And theoretically, this should line up. Nice. Okay. So there's that. Actually... Ooh. Ooh. That may not work, because if I cap that and say we're not going any further back, and we're just going to do this, now this becomes an issue. Poo. Okay. Well, it doesn't have to, I guess, because we don't have to do that. We could just run it like this. Okay. I hadn't thought about that. Let's try that. So this room is going to look slightly different, I guess, from how it was originally somewhat envisioned, I suppose, if you want to call it that. We'll run a line here, and we'll put one here. Oh, wait, no, that's... I meant here. That's what I was looking for. Okay. So we would do like... This is just temporary until I get over there. What happened here? That's weird. It's not doing the connected texture, but there is blocks on the underside of the block. Weird. Okay. Now we've already kind of got a shape going here, but we can extend this to give us an extra block. So let's do this. And that. There we go. Put one of these here. There. And I'm just going to take this screen out because it's probably not even going to stay there. Okay, so we want to come off of this beam like so. 1, 2, 3, it looks like. Right? Oh no, just 3 on top of that one. Okay. Alrighty, and we'll just walk this down, basically. Okay. And now we'll just block this up. And do one of like this. Let's see how this ends up looking. Alright, not too shabby. It's a little bit different, just a hair, than kind of the rest of the ship's layout. It's not drastic, but it is a little bit different. Oh, this is supposed to be heavy block. What am I doing? Oh, wait. Yeah, that's going to end up being heavy block. Oh, well. So, yeah. That could work. Let me see. I should have a door somewhere here. Put a door there. Put a door here. Jolly good. Now, it's not quite as decorative as, like, this style here. So we may have to change that around a little bit. But it also could work for this one area. Because we do have a couple sections where the frame is left somewhat open. But usually on the inside, it's got a bit more direction kind of thing. So, well, hold on a minute. Let's use this side over here because this one has some blocks over here. We could actually do... Well, I don't know if I want to do that or not because that's going to... If we did it like this, the traditional door frame that we have, it's going to sink us in by 1. Which we'll have to decide whether or not we want to do. On that note, I did not realize this was getting so out of hand. This is a very long episode. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. We're going to wrap things up here. I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, leave a like, and I'll see you all next time. Peace.